It's my 1 month dread-aversary, and so I thought I'd do a little video just explaining so far the pros and cons and what it's been like. When we contemplate this decision, the first thing we think of is, how are people going to perceive me? Are they going to think, oh, you're dirty, or are you a hippie, or do you smoke weed, or, why in the world would you do something like that is the first thing that they think. I haven't got any negative comments. I've had a lot of questions that always dreaded, how do you wash your hair? And really they're just curious. How do you wash it? And I just tell them, you just wash it like you normally do. And my pat answer is always, washing isn't the problem, drying, that's what takes so long. And I explain that, you really have to wring them out, and you have to, thoroughly dry them. You can't go to bed with wet hair. And then they ask, oh, you can't blow dry them, can you? Well, of course you can, and I do. When we were still having some warm days, I would sit outside and I'd sit on one of my lounge chairs and just drape my hair out over the top, the back of the lawn chair, and just continuously, I'd open up this part and pull that open and sit there for a while. And I'd just sit there with a book, and then I'd turn this way and open up that part and just let the sun shine in. And, it didn't take very long, a few chapters reading my book, and I was dry. Well, now it's, mid to late November, and it's cold. It's very cold where I live. And so there's no drying outside. I actually try to wash as early as I can in the morning, and I will blow dry the roots of my scalp, the roots of my dreads along my scalp, because then it's more comfortable. I'm not as cold sitting like that. And I do the same thing. I'll sit in a chair and read a book or watch TV and just keep sectioning. Always section it. Pull them all open, because what happens is along the roots, you start getting a little bit of fuzz, and you can see, this down here. You start getting that little bit of fuzz, and they grab onto each other, and you don't want that. So the first thing you do after you wash is open those up, section everything out, and do that every time you wash. And do that between washes as well. After you've slept on it and you get up in the morning, you're going to have to, do that a little bit too. And it's not a big deal. Normally you get up and you comb your hair or you fix it. And with me, I just, I'm one of those picky people. And I mean picky with my fingers. So my hands are always in my hair. So I'm always just, opening them up and feeling them to see if there's any bumps, or do I have any loose hairs. My hands are always in my hair, and then I'll put it up in some funky style for the day, and I brush my bangs and I go. That's it. About once a week or so I will spray, and in through my scalp, I'll put a moisturizing spray, and I bought some, and then I created some, and I like them both for different reasons. I've tried a tightening spray, and it's okay. It feels like it is kind of tightening up, but it feels dry through my hair, and I don't like that. I like to be able to touch my hair, and I like it to feel soft. Initially, I was washing once a week, once every 4 to 5 days. So that comes out to be, actually more than once a week. And now, to be honest, I'm at a week and a half, and I washed the fringe. I've washed my fringe 3 times and haven't had to wash in my locks. And I got up this morning, I thought, oh, maybe it's time to wash. And so I just put my hands through my scalp. It wasn't itchy. I don't have waxy buildup. It doesn't feel greasy. at all on my scalp. So I said, okay, I don't need to wash. So I pinned it up. The style you see is just me pinning up my hair to take a bath. So, you know, I've had my bath and got dressed and all that so that I could talk to you all today. So this wasn't an intentional style, but as it started kind of draping down and falling, I thought, well, you know, that's okay for sitting around the house. I don't care. So you hear everybody talk about the itch, and let me explain that. What I went through anyway, as far as the itch. My loctician told me to not wash for 1 week. Okay, and that was hard for me because normally around day 4, I start getting a real itchy scalp, and that's when I know to wash my hair, pre-dread, okay? And so I got to that point, and it was difficult. So I was spraying a lot of my spray along my scalp to control that itch, and I had just scratched so much that once I got to that weak point, and I really did it at 6 days, I washed my hair and the itch was just unbearable after I washed my hair. And I don't know why that is, because I didn't change shampoo. I had been using my post-lock shampoo a month in advance so that I would be used to it. So it wasn't a change in shampoo or anything like that, but the itch was unbearable after I washed, when my hair was wet and it was drying, and then even once it was dry. And so aloe vera came to my rescue. Just, I'll be honest, that was the only thing. I tried my sprays with essential oils. I did all of that, and it would relieve it instantaneously as soon as I sprayed, but then the itch came right back. So the only thing that got me through that was aloe vera. 100% aloe vera gel with no additives. Be sure it doesn't have any alcohol in it. And I just put it straight on my scalp, and I rubbed it in between, and it stopped. And I have not had that problem since. So it was just that initial washing that really, really, really just drove me crazy. So I'm getting a little bit of bumps through the dreads, which all I do is put some spray and then palm roll it. Or when I wash, I will, you know, palm roll it, and that will take out most of the bump. And then I just get my little crochet hook, and I just crochet in that bump. And what is causing the bumps is, you know, through the dread, you will have tight, 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 a little bit of loose, and then tight, tight. And so that little bit of loose will just create a little bump in there. And so that just needs to be tightened. And then once you tighten that little bump up, then you won't have any more bump. And truthfully, I don't really mind having a little bit of bumps. I think that looks okay. You can see through there. And it's just a little lump, a little loose part, a little lump, a little loose part, a little lump. So, and that's what I've got all through. And I like it. I think it's interesting and it adds character. But, you know, if you don't want that, just palm roll more. Do it when it's, you know, damp, not real, real wet, when it's almost dry. And then after you palm rolled, which you want to palm roll to keep it from shrinking up too much, because you will have really, really, and you can see down here, really, really fat. And that's because it's just really hard to palm roll right up close to my scalp. So it gets fatter there and then goes out skinnier towards the end because it's easier to palm roll there. And so the palm rolling keeps it from shrinking up too much, just stretches that out, and it will help with those bumps. And then, like I said, just crochet right into that bump. I've got a little bit of fuzz. Now, if you remember and you're actually following this, I didn't dread right through the center. I thought initially that I wanted that loose to kind of fall over if I chose to, and I ended up just braiding that all the time and then sticking it into my style. And so I have added on my own, I have dreaded that top because I could reach that. I could do that myself. All the rest of it is from a loctician. And so, you know, I was able to do that all by myself. So it's all now, this section is about a week old, and then all the rest of it is 1 month. And yeah, it falls right in seamlessly. You cannot tell the difference. All I did was look at her sections and see how large they were, you know, how much space I had between, and I just kept those the same size. I did one larger one right in the front because I am a woman of age and I have a, you know, fairly round face, overweight, and I need a bit of height with my hair. So, you know, there are some women who look really good with their hair flat and straight. I was not one of them, which is one of the reasons why I wanted dreads. Was it's much easier to get volume or a voluminous style with dreads that we can, you know, tie that up. And so my thinking was, by putting one larger right at the top of my head, right in the front, that will give me a little bit of height, a little bit of volume, you know, when I put that down. And yeah, I'll let this down and let you see what it all looks like. And like I said, this is just me tying it all up to take a bath. So I'll let that all down and let you see. Okay, and there's my rather large one. And I've got a little bit of silk fiber, because I'm a fiber artist, and so I work with silk and wool and stuff, that I just kind of dreaded through there. So as you can see, that's a pretty thick piece of hair, you know, compared to the other. And what I've done is I have different colors. So I've got the real light, I've got the red, I've got kind of like a sandy brownish auburn, and then I've got a dark auburn. And you know, our natural hair colors are different colors all interwoven in, and so I wanted that in my dreads as well, because again, I don't know how you can see, my gray is starting to come through with my really dark auburn and then my silver. And I don't know, you know, whether I will continue to just color, you know, my fringe or let them go silver. I haven't made that decision yet. And it's real easy, you know, to just color a small little bit with one of those root touch-up kits. So I have various sizes. I have some fat and some, let me find one. There's my lumpiest one. See, there's a real big lump there and a lump there. And I have tried to crochet those out and it just isn't doing. But that was probably that's my shortest one, because I have various lengths and they go, you know, from that being my shortest right there, collarbone, down to boob length and then butt length, and so that they look like layers. And let me find, okay, there's a skinny one, and you see I have lots of beads. So there's a thin one, very thin, then medium, and then my one big fat one that I wanted right there, because then I can kind of style my hair kind of off to the side, pull that there, and get a little bit of, there you go, see, a little bit of height, a little bit of volume without, you know, pinning it up, which mostly I do, just pin it up. These top ones they haven't even been washed yet. That's how new they are. They haven't even been washed. So this is my hair, this is the extension, and as this tightens up, that'll look smaller, you know, that'll match more there. And so they're very stiff, and before you wash them, they are very stiff. And then once you wash them, they soften up, and you can see they just like any other hair, they're very soft, okay? The one thing that I've had to fix a lot is, you can see that right there. See that tail? And I purposely left that so that you could see it. When my loctician put them in, she took my hair and kind of ratted it up and then pulled it through the extension, through the center of the extension, and a tail came out, and then she just kind of crocheted those in. Well, those crocheted in tails on most of them have come out, and I just look for them after every wash and I crochet them back in. So that is maintenance that I've had to do myself. And I have discovered a really fantastic way of root rubbing. And let me just do like this so that you can see what it looks like through. And so I don't have a lot of loose, and they are fairly tight in, and hopefully this is showing, I can't see what I'm showing you. Fairly tight, see that one goes all the way up to the scalp because I've just done that. And this is, you know, at 1 month. I had about, you know, that much growth and loose at the scalp. And I have discovered a new, that I haven't seen anywhere else, way of root rubbing, and I will do a video next for you on that, and I will link that down below and show you how to do that. So I have a lot of braids through, and that's why I put the braids in. See how it's just getting really lumpy? In my mind, I think of those as fairy locks when I see the really loose wispy ones that just curl all over and lump and bump. I think of those as mermaid hair and fairy locks, and so I wanted some in there that would be like that once they were locked up. And so I put quite a few braids in my hair to purposely, as they lock up, they will keep that shape. And so that's why I have a lot of braids in through my hair. And so there's another braid. And then there's my fattest ones are probably, you know, my longest ones. Here you go. There we go, arm length. And that lays right at the top of my bum when I'm standing out. Okay? So, all in all, people are curious. Some people have said they really suit me. One lady walked up to me at church and she said, "When did you dread your hair?" And I said, "About a month ago." And she says, "I'm kind of digging it." So that was pretty cool. We went to the movies, and my husband says, "That man is looking at you with love in his eyes." And I said, "That's not love, honey, that's lust." So, yeah, of course, men like the really long hair. And so when they see that, they like it. But lots and lots of compliments, lots of curiosity, just asking questions. A couple of people have asked me, well, how long do you intend to keep them? I intend to keep them forever. This was something I waited for 14 years, probably about 13 years. And I see myself as an old dreaded lady. So this You know, it's easier. I can get really amazing styles with my hair. My loctician was fantastic. You can see you don't see scalp with my hair, which was one thing that was really concerning to me. And the only problem I have is my hair grows straight down, and so my bangs want to do that, and I'm always kind of pulling my fringe out. So yeah, I intend this to be my style forever. And I generally just get up and grab some and just kind of do a twist and pull. And that adds height, which women of my age group has to have the height on top of their head. And I don't need anything else. That's my style generally every day. This is how I do my hair. That's how I like it. So trying to think of what else you might want to know. So I wash generally once a week, but right now I'm going on a week and a half and I do not feel the need to wash. My scalp is not oily, it is not itchy, there is no buildup on there. I do my sprays. I don't know what it is, it's not any of my sprays, but my hair smells like maple syrup. And my daughter, every time she walks by me, why do you smell like maple syrup? No, I haven't eaten any pancakes or maple syrup, so my locks don't stink. And no, it isn't the spray, because my spray is all essential oils and aloe vera. I don't know why I smell like maple syrup, but I do. I smell like maple syrup, so I'm not stinky. That's, I guess, just my smell. I smell like maple syrup, and it's not a bad thing. The style is great, the length is great, the texture color is great. I've got the itch down, I've got the washing down. Yeah, so if you have any questions specifically to dreadlocks or what's going on, I'll do a video of my sprays that I made, and I'll do a video on my root rubbing technique. And you know, they'll all be in the playlist under dreadlocks for those of you who are interested. And I hope you are interested, because they're kind of cool. All right, have a good day, guys.